No mask, no chains, no borrowed truth. Who are you? When no one is telling you who to be. They gave you rules, they gave you names, gave you a world and told you play the game. Good, bad, right, wrong, you learned the answers before you knew the question. The Nietzsche came with a hammer in his hand, not to destroy the world, but to test what could stand. Kill the fear, break the mold, question everything you've been told. No master, no throne, no borrowed soul. Become. God is dead, then what? Who are you without the old answer? Turn away. He looked at weakness and asked what it could create. Life is struggle, life is change. You don't become stronger by escaping the flame. You become through what you overcome. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now you are not finished. You are becoming. When the crowd moves left, stand still. When the crowd says yes, ask why. When they hand you their truth, one will become. Nietzsche did not give you a comfortable answer. He gave you a harder question. Who will you become? The journey begins. The journey begins. The journey begins. Be quiet. The sky is silent. The throne is empty. God is dead. Dead above us. Dead above us. Dead above us, dead behind us. No voice coming down to remind us. The crown fell, the temple cracked. Now tell me, what do you build when there is no way back? We inherited a world with the answers preloaded. Every rule, every sin, every path already coded. Kneel here, believe this, fear that, obey. Then the foundation started fading away. Not with fire, not with war. It happened quietly behind the door. One generation looked at the sky, nothing. Another generation asked, why? When the highest value loses its power, you don't simply lose belief. You lose the structure, that told you what your life meant. And that's when the real danger begins. Empty space, empty throne, empty answers in the bones. People need meaning, people need a sign. So when the old god falls, they manufacture another shrine. Money, power, nation, status, pleasure. Different names, same hunger, same measure. You destroy one idol, then build another. You escape one master, then worship another. That's the sickness Nietzsche wanted us to see. The death of a god doesn't automatically make a human free. Slow down, look around. What replaced the thing you lost? Maybe the greatest danger isn't losing God. Maybe it's believing you've escaped the need for meaning. God is dead, 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 dead. But nothing has replaced it. So here we stand in the ruins of certainty. No ancient map for the road ahead of me. The old world ended inside the human mind, and the next world hasn't been designed. No celebration, no despair, just the weight of responsibility hanging in the air. The throne is empty. The silence is real. The question remains, what will humanity choose to believe? God is dead. But the story didn't end. That was the beginning. Would you change it? The mistake, the loss, the person you became because of it. I remember the night when everything collapsed. The plans on the table, the future I had mapped. One phone call, one goodbye, one door slammed shut. And suddenly the man I was not enough. I carried that moment like a stone in my chest. Tried to outrun it, tried to bury the rest. But every road I took kept leading back to the same old shadow following my tracks. Don't rewrite it, don't erase it. Don't wish the years away. Take the wound, take the weight, take the life that came from yesterday. What if the thing you call your mistake was part of the road that made you? No correction, no perfect reconstruction. Life doesn't ask permission before it changes direction. You lose, you learn, you bleed, you carry, you wake up one morning and you're still standing. Not everything happens for a reason, but every event can become material. That's the difference between surrender and acceptance. One gives up, the other keeps walking.
I'm OIT. Not everything was good. Not nothing ever hurt. It means I refuse to hate my own existence.
Give me the years I thought were wasted. Give me the dreams that never awakened. Give me the faces I couldn't keep. Give me the promises buried too deep. I won't ask for another history. I won't trade my scars for somebody else's victory. The past is heavy, but it is mine. Amor fati. Not love, because life was kind. Love it because it was yours. Was decided by your limits. You said, I can't. The world said, that's enough. But something inside never agreed. Weight upon the spine. Every failure drawing another line. You thought the wall was built to stop you. Maybe it was built to show you where to push. No throne, no audience, no validation. Just raw force turning into creation. Take the doubt, break it apart. Take the fear, study its shape. Take the weakness you tried to hide and put it to work. More. Not more than them, more than you were. That is the difference. I don't need another enemy, I need resistance. I don't need another crown, I need distance between who I am and who I could become. Every obstacle becomes a question. Every failure becomes an instrument. Every limit becomes a temporary wall. And I keep pushing until it falls. Domination, creation, not conquest, transformation. Not the world beneath your feet, but your own potential. Finally standing upright. The strongest force is not the one that destroys. It is the one that creates. Despite resistance. Wake up! Look around. opposite. Same room, same floor, same shadow underneath the door. Same face inside the mirror, but another day getting nearer. You made mistakes, you lost some time. You crossed some lines, you changed your mind. You remember every failure that you buried in the dark. But what if there was no ending? What if time came back? Not tomorrow, not someday, not another life. This one. Would you choose it again? The road, the scars, the fire, the rain. Would you choose it again? The loss, the love, the fear, the pain. If the whole thing came back, would you say yes? Yes. Hey. Yes. Imagine a clock turning backwards every second coming home. Every word you ever spoke returning through the microphone. Every person you once loved, every person you had to lose. Every door you walked through, every road you didn't choose. No editing, no correction, no second version of your past. No deleting the ugly chapters just to make the ending last. You get the entire story, nothing less, nothing more. So don't answer with your dreams, answer with your life. Would you keep the early mornings? Would you keep the lonely nights? Would you keep the days you couldn't see a way out? Would you keep the fight? Would you keep the person you were before you learned to stand? Would you keep the mistakes that built the shape of who you am? Because if you erase the pain, you might erase the strength. If you erase the failure, you might erase the change. If you erase the past, you erase the road that brought you here. Would you choose it again? The road, the scars, the fire, the rain. Would you choose it again? The loss, the love, the fear, the pain. No perfect ending, no rewritten past. Just this life coming back again, again, again. Let the morning come again, 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 again. Let the whole world turn again. Not because every moment was beautiful, not because every wound was fair, but because it became your life, 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 life. I don't need another beginning. I don't need another name. I don't need another history to hide behind my shame. Give me the road that actually happened. Give me the truth without the mask. If existence asks me once more, I'll answer without asking back. Yes. Play it again. Play it again. Would you choose it again? Yes. Would you live it again? Yes. Every fall, yes. Every rise, yes. Every scar, yes. Every time, yes. Yep. Yes. Then live today like you already said yes. Wake up. Wake up. Question everything. They gave you rules before you learned to speak. Gave you answers before you learned to seek. This is right, that is wrong. Follow this, don't move on. They built the walls, they named them truth and handed you the keys when you were young. But I hear something underneath, a crack, a sound, a question coming back. Who made this rule? Who gave it weight? Who decided what you should celebrate? because destruction feels strong. I strike the surface to discover what was wrong. Is it truth or tradition? Is it wisdom or submission? Is it courage or obedience? Wearing another name, you call it virtue. I asked, who benefits from the game? Don't worship the answer, examine it. Don't fear the question, enter it. Every belief must face the weight. Every value must reveal its origin. Every sacred word must survive the hammer. Raise the hammer, test the stone. Break the false before it breaks your soul. Raise the hammer, strike the wall. If it cannot stand the question, let it fall. One strike for fear, two strikes for shame, three strikes for every borrowed name. I won't inherit a cage and call it home. I won't wear another man's chains and call them law. I won't live inside a value I never chose. Let the old idols make their sound. If they're hollow, they'll echo. If they're solid, they'll remain. Question, test, break, rebuild. Not every wall deserves to be destroyed. Some reveal the foundation, some reveal the void. But after the hammer, you decide what remains, what dies, what becomes your own. Raise the hammer, strike, question, raise the hammer, test the stone. Nothing borrowed, nothing blindly owned. Raise the hammer, strike the wall. What survives the question becomes your own. Not everything must be broken, only what you never dared to question. You are not finished. Not even close. Yesterday is not a prison. Your past is not your name. The person you were yesterday doesn't have to remain the same. You failed, good. You learned where the ground could break. You fell, stand. There is another step to take. The world will tell you who you are. Your history will draw the line, but every line can be crossed when you decide this life is mine. Overcome the fear inside your chest. Overcome the voice that says you can't. Overcome not the world, yourself. Become more than you were. Don't chase the strongest man in the room. Don't measure your worth by somebody's throne. The battle is quieter than that. It's the moment you stand against your oldest habits. The anger, the doubt, the weakness. You hide the version of yourself you keep alive because you're afraid to change. Kill the excuse, keep the lesson. Every failure can become material. Every wound can become a scar that remembers. Every limit can become a question. Every question can become a direction. Overcome the fear inside your chest. that says you can't overcome. Not the world, yourself. Become more than you were. But listen, you will never arrive at a final version of yourself, because the moment you think you are finished, you have stopped becoming. So break the statue, break the image, break the perfect version you invented. You are not a finished monument, you are a moving target. Build, 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 destroy, learn, change, fall, rise, repeat. Not because you are weak, because becoming requires movement. And when the old version of you comes knocking, don't hate him, thank him, then walk past him. Overcome. Yourself and again. Overcome what you were, what holds you. Overcome what you were, what holds you. Overcome every limit, become what you are capable of. Become more. Become more. Doom, 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 doom. Doom. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, doom, doom. Doom, 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 doom. Who told you where to walk? They drew the road before you arrived. Put up the signs, left, right, stop, survive. They called it success, they called it the right way. Then everybody started walking the same way. I asked why. No answer, just footsteps. You don't need another crowd to tell you who to become. You don't need another voice to decide where you're from. Freedom isn't doing whatever feels good. Freedom is knowing why you choose what you choose. Walk without permission, move without the crowd. Think before they think for you. Live without bowing down. Bowing down. They'll call you strange, they'll call you lost. They'll tell you the road is too dangerous to cross. Let them talk, let them point. A borrowed life is still a cage even when the door is open. I would rather walk alone with the question than march with 1,000 people toward an answer I never chose. No map, no permission, no guarantee. Just a direction and the courage to disagree. I don't need the world to understand the road. I need to understand why I'm walking. Walk without permission, move without the crowd. Think before they think for you. Live without bowing down. Maybe freedom isn't a destination. Maybe it's the moment you stop asking the crowd for directions. I take away the applause. I take away the approval. I take away the map. I take away the title. What remains? You. And the road you choose. You walk, think, choose. Become. Walk, think, choose. Become. Dum 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 dum. do. Who said this is valuable? Who said that is shame? What were rules and gave them our names? Success, failure, winner, loser, saint, sinner. Who decided which one you should become? Maybe the question isn't what you believe. Maybe it's who taught you to believe it? You inherited 1,000 answers before you asked one question. You learn what to desire, you learn what to fear. You learn whose approval should matter, then called it your personality. But values are personality. Values have fingerprints, someone created them, but someone benefited, someone passed them down. Revalue, turn it over, look again. Revalue, test the meaning, break the frame. Revalue, if it isn't yours, let it change. Good, bad, strong, weak, beautiful, ugly, rich, poor. The words look permanent until you ask who wrote the dictionary. A crown can be a cage, a weakness can become a weapon. A failure can become a teacher, a virtue can become a chain. Nothing is safe from examination. Nothing. I don't wanna borrow morality, I don't wanna borrow dream. I don't wanna spend my life chasing things because everybody says they matter. I wanna know what they create inside me. Does this value make me smaller or stronger? Does it make me fear life or embrace it? Revalue, turn it over, look again. Revalue, test the meaning, break the frame. Revalue, if it isn't yours, let it change. Listen, the old answer is speaking. Don't obey it, question it. Take the word, take the rule, take the judgment, take the throne. Put it under the light, turn it around, strike it. Test it, if it survives, keep it. If it breaks, wait it, do it. Then your values, your choice, your life. Revolve. Who decided what matters? Now, you decide. Value. Put them on the table. Obedience, purity, sacrifice, humility, tradition. You received them before you could speak. You were told, respect this, reject that, desire less, submit more, and nobody showed you the blueprint. Who built the scale? Turn it over. Look underneath fear, guilt, survival, resentment, control. Old wounds wearing beautiful names. A virtue can become a cage if nobody remembers why it was created. Don't replace one dogma with another. Test everything. Does it strengthen life? Does it deepen thought? Does it create? Does it expand human possibility? Take the old metal, heat it, break it, shape it. Not every tradition deserves the furnace. Not every rebellion deserves the crown. The task is not destruction. The task is creation. Revalue. 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 What they called weakness, examine it. What they called virtue, examine it. What they called sin, examine it. What they called success, examine it. Turn the scale. A new value does not ask, who approved this? It asks, what kind of life can this create? The crowd has an answer. The tradition has an answer. Your generation has an answer. But the free spirit asks, what if I think for myself? Yeah. There is a comfort in belonging to the many. 1,000 voices make a lonely doubt feel crazy. You don't have to question, you don't have to decide. Just follow the road that everybody walks beside. But somewhere in the silence, a different voice appears. Not loud, not certain, just honest enough to disturb your ears. It says, look again, step away from the noise. Not because the crowd is always wrong, but because you cannot hear yourself inside it. Walk beyond the crowd, leave the noise behind. Not to become an outsider, but to discover your own mind. Walk beyond the crowd, question what you inherit. A free spirit doesn't need permission to investigate. He reads the book but doesn't worship the author. He hears the teacher but examines every order. He respects tradition without becoming its prisoner. He enters the temple and still questions the architecture. He can change his mind without feeling defeated. He can say I was wrong without needing to be humiliated. Because certainty is not always strength. Sometimes the courage to reconsider is stronger. Freedom is expensive. You lose the comfort of having someone else. felt for you. No map guarantees where the road will lead. No crowd can promise what your conscience needs. You carry the consequences of every conclusion. You cannot outsource the weight of your own decisions. So question the slogan, question the fashion, question the fear behind your conviction. Then question yourself one more time, because the easiest prison is the belief that you've already escaped. A free mind doesn't destroy every wall. It learns which walls are necessary and which ones were built around it. Walk beyond the crowd, leave the noise behind. Not above the people, but deeper inside your own mind. Walk beyond the crowd, keep your vision alive. The free spirit doesn't ask, where is everyone going? It asks, where do I stand? When the crowd becomes silent, will you still know what you think? Us, think like us, live like us, want what we want, believe what we believe. Don't leave, don't question, don't disappear. Stay! A thousand voices can sound like certainty. A thousand faces can hide insecurity. Everybody talking, nobody listening. Everybody moving, nobody questioning. So I stepped backward, one step, then another. The noise became smaller, the faces became distant. And suddenly I could hear my own breathing. There you are. No crowd, no teacher, no enemy. No applause, no one to blame, no one to follow. Now tell me, what do you believe when nobody agrees? What do you want when nobody sees? What are you worth when nobody praises? What remains when every borrowed answer disappears? This is where the comfortable mind retreats. This is where the honest mind begins. Because solitude doesn't give you answers. It removes the excuses. You can't blame the generation, can't blame the culture, can't blame your parents, can't blame the crowd. Eventually the decision comes back to you. And that is freedom's loneliest moment. You wanted independence, here it is. No instructions, no guarantee, no audience, just consequence. You wanted to know who you really were, then stop performing, stop explaining, stop asking whether they approve. Sit with yourself long enough for the borrowed voice to become quiet. Quiet, 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 and listen. Doesn't need your approval. The night doesn't need your explanation. The truth inside you doesn't become less true because nobody applauds. Stand alone! partially yours. Solitude. The place where the self stops performing. Stay! You were different once. I know. You believe different things. I know. Then why did you leave me? Because you were never supposed to be permanent. I protected you, I kept you safe. I gave you answers when you were afraid. I built your identity, I gave you something to call yourself. And you became something I couldn't question. I am your history. You're my material, not my master. Every habit wants another repetition. Every identity wants another confirmation. Every belief wants evidence that it was right. But life keeps moving while the mind tries to stay still. So I asked the uncomfortable question: what part of me must disappear for something greater to emerge? Not death, transformation. I don't need to hate who I was, he carried me here, but I don't owe him my destination. His fear can become knowledge, his failure can become material, his weakness can become information. His victories, even they must eventually be questioned. What happens when you finally surpass me? I become another version that must be surpassed again. Identity, no permanent throne, no finished portrait, only movement. A human being standing between what has been created and what has yet to exist. Don't worship. Your previous self. The goal was never to become perfect. The task was to remain capable of becoming. Some ideas look powerful until you strike them. Some beliefs sound sacred until you ask where they came from. Handed answers before I learned to ask. Rules before reasons, values before evidence, names before experience. They said believe, obey, respect, accept, and I learned to carry words I never examined. But Nietzsche brought the hammer not to destroy, for pleasure to test. Is it solid or hollow? An idol can wear a beautiful face. Virtue, purity, progress, tradition, success, morality, truth. The name doesn't matter, strike the surface, listen. If the sound comes back empty, you've learned something. Don't worship what you inherited. Don't fear what you've never questioned. Don't confuse age with wisdom. Don't confuse authority with truth. Test it. Strike the idol. Test it. Question the throne. Test it. If it survives, understand why. If it cracks, don't look away. Your favorite belief is not sacred because it comforts you. Your enemy's belief is not false because you hate him. Your culture doesn't make a value eternal. Your fear doesn't make a warning wise. Your certainty doesn't make you right. The hammer doesn't choose sides, it asks, can you withstand examination? Nietzsche's hammer is not blind destruction, it is diagnosis. The strike reveals the structure, the sound reveals the emptiness, the crack reveals what was already weak. The hammer doesn't create the hollow idol, it reveals it. So strike the belief that says you must remain who you were. Strike the value that says obedience is enough. Strike the voice that says questioning is dangerous. Strike the idea that says this has always been true. History is not proof. Repetition is not proof. Popularity is not proof. The question isn't what does everyone believe? The question is, what survives when belief is tested? Test it. Strike the idol. Test it. Break the silence. Test it. If it survives, make it stronger. If it falls, let it fall. No sacred excuses. A hammer doesn't tell you what to believe. It teaches you how to listen. The throne is empty. No king, no voice, no command, and everyone is waiting. They look upward, waiting for an answer, waiting for permission, waiting for someone to say, this is right, this is wrong, this is your purpose, this is your place. But the throne doesn't speak. The old certainty has disappeared, and suddenly, every human being stands closer to freedom. But freedom feels like falling when you've spent your whole life holding on to instructions. Tell us what to do. Tell us what matters. Tell us who we are. Tell us what happens after death. Tell us why we suffer. Nothing. The throne remains empty, and some collapse. If nothing speaks from above, nothing matters. So they stop building, stop believing, stop creating, stop risking. They call it freedom. But it is only another prison. The prison without walls. I stare at the empty throne and I realize I have been waiting too. Waiting for certainty. Waiting for permission. Waiting for meaning to arrive before I begin. Why? Maybe meaning doesn't arrive, maybe meaning is made. Maybe values are discovered like buried treasure. Maybe they are forged through the life that chooses them. Maybe the question isn't what is the meaning of existence? Maybe the question is, what meaning will I give my existence? I don't need a throne, I need a direction. I don't need a God to command me. I need the courage to command my own becoming. I don't need an eternal answer. I need a life worth affirming. So I walk toward the throne, not to sit on it, to break it. Because if I replace one absolute master with another, I learn nothing. Freedom is not becoming the new God. Freedom is becoming responsible for what you create. Create, choose, become. Create, choose, become. The throne is empty. The throne is empty. Good. Now build. Now build. No one is coming to write your life for you. One, two, three, four. Life doesn't count like that. I built a calendar, I built a schedule, I built a future with straight lines and clean labels. Success here, failure there, good day, bad day, win, lose, simple, comfortable, predictable. Then life laughed. One call, everything changes. One diagnosis, the future moves. One goodbye, the room becomes different. One failure, the map becomes useless. You planned a straight road, life gave you a staircase with missing steps. Now what? Move, not because the road is clear, move because you can still move. Laugh, not because nothing hurts, laugh because pain does not own the entire room. Create, not because everything makes sense. Create, because meaning can be made inside the contradiction. Beautiful, ugly, birth, death, love, loss, ecstasy, despair, all sharing the same world. The Dionysian spirit doesn't demand that life explain itself. It says yes to the whole thing. The broken plan, the unexpected turn, the unfinished story, the day you wanted to erase, the night you thought would never end. Don't turn every wound into a monument. Don't turn every victory into a prison. Let them move, let them pass, let them become part of the rhythm. Move, 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 move. The world has no metronome, so stop waiting for the perfect beat. Find the rhythm. And dance before you understand the music. You were given a name, a history, a body, a world you never chose. But Nietzsche asks, must you remain what you were given? Gave me a definition, told me where I belong, told me what was possible, told me what was forbidden, told me this is who you are. I carried it for years like a weight without knowing who put it there. Then I asked, what if identity is not a prison? What if it's raw material? I am not the final version, I am not the finished answer. I am the distance between what I am and what I can become. Beyond the human, beyond the name, beyond the shape that yesterday gave me. I don't rise to stand above you, I rise to move beyond myself. The Übermensch is not a throne, not a crown, not a weapon, not a license to dominate. It's a direction, a demand, a constant question. Can you create yourself again? When an old belief no longer serves life, change it. When an old identity becomes too small, outgrow it. When yesterday's strength becomes tomorrow's prison, leave it behind. I don't worship my past, I study it. I don't erase my failures, I transform them. I don't wait for permission to become. I don't ask the world to tell me what I should be. I take the material, the pain, the talent, the weakness, the desire, the contradiction, and I shape it. Not perfection, transformation, not completion, becoming. The Übermensch is not a destination, it is a direction you choose again and again. So when they ask, who are you? Don't answer with your past, don't answer with your title, don't answer with your failures. Ask a harder question. What am I capable of becoming? Beyond the human, beyond the name, beyond the shape that yesterday gave me. Not above the world, not above another man. Beyond the version of myself that refuses to change. Become, 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 overcome. Create. The human being is not the final answer. It is the question that keeps moving. Good. Bad. Who decided? Who decided? Who decided? Yeah. They put a label on everything I touch. Good, bad, pure, corrupt, black, white. Simple enough to keep the questions out of sight. But I don't trust the judgment just because it's old. I wanna know the hand that shaped the mold. Who called it virtue? Who called it sin? What fear was hiding underneath the skin? Yeah, maybe morality isn't the ending. Maybe it's where the question is beginning. Oh yeah. Tell me why you call it wrong. Tell me why you call it strong. Beyond good and evil, look again. Beyond the judgment, look within. Don't take the answer just because they gave it. Question the value, question who made it. I don't need to destroy morality. I need to see its anatomy. Where did it come from? Who does it serve? What does it build inside the person who follows it? A virtue can become a chain. A witness can become a source of change. A rule can protect you, a rule can control you. The difference is whether you understand what you obey. Think, don't inherit your conscience. Examine it. Maybe I'm not the hero, maybe I'm not the villain. Maybe I'm the one who finally stopped pretending. I won't judge before I know. I won't follow just because they say so. I won't wear another man's definition. I will question, I will choose. Good isn't always good for life. Bad isn't always death in disguise. Look beneath the surface, look behind the word. Look at the power, look at the fear. Look at the desire that nobody heard. Every value has a history. Every judgment has a price. You want freedom? Then learn to examine your own eyes. Beyond good and evil, look again. Beyond the judgment, look within. Don't take the answer just because they gave it. Question the value, question who made it. Maybe the truth isn't comfortable. Maybe the truth isn't kind. But I'd rather face the question than live inside a borrowed mind. Who decided? Who decided? Beyond good and evil, look again. Beyond the judgment, look within. Question, choose, create, become. What if you could not change a single moment of your past? Not one mistake, not one loss, not one wound, not one regret. Would you still choose your life? I spent years fighting yesterday. If only I had known, if only I had stayed, if only I had chosen another road. Different words, different people, different ending. I kept rewriting a history that refused to change. Then Nietzsche asked something more difficult. What if you stopped asking the past to become different? Not forgiveness, not denial, not pretending the pain was good. Something deeper, to look at the road behind you and say, it was mine. The failure was mine, the mistake was mine, the loss was mine, the years I wasted mine. And every piece of it helped create the person standing here. I don't need a perfect history. I need my history to become part of my strength. Love what made you, the fire, the scars, the roads you couldn't repair. Love what made you, not because everything was beautiful, but because it became yours. I won't call every wound a blessing. I won't dress every failure in gold. Some things hurt, some things should never have happened. Some doors should have stayed open, some people should have stayed. some goodbyes still burn, but I refuse to let regret become the author of my future. The past doesn't need to be beautiful to become meaningful. It only needs to be integrated. Amor fati, not I love everything that happened, but I refuse to divide my life into pieces. I accept in pieces I wish it never existed. This life, all of it. Take the victory, take the failure, take the years you thought were wasted. Take the person you used to be. Take the road that broke apart. Take the lesson you didn't ask for, then move. Don't worship the past, don't curse it, carry it. Love what made you, the fire, the scars, the road you couldn't repair. Love what made you, not because the past was perfect, but because you are here. No, 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 no erasing. No, 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 no denial. No, 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 only transformation. No. Amor fati, not loving every event, but refusing to hate the life that became yours. That name. Boom. Boom. There. Yeah. They called you before you knew yourself. Gave you a role, gave you a shelf. Put you inside a little definition and called obedience a good condition. You learned the answer when they called. Learned to stand what they told you. Learned to want what they wanted and forgot to ask, what do I want? That's the question. A name isn't destiny, a past isn't a prison, a failure isn't the final definition. You are not the story they wrote about you. You are the hand holding the pen. So write, forge your name in the fire. Forge your name through the pain. No borrowed crown, no borrowed face. Build yourself again, again. Every scar, take every mistake, take every hour you thought you wasted away. Take every door that refused to open, take every promise that left you broken. Don't hide them, use them, don't worship them, shape them. The raw material of your life is already in your hands. What will you build? What will you build? You want freedom, then create. You want meaning, then create. You want a life that belongs to you, then stop waiting for permission to begin. Begin, 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 begin. Forge your name in the fire. Forge your name through the pain. No borrowed crown, no borrowed face. Build yourself again, again. I was not born finished, I was not born complete. Every step changed the shape beneath my feet. I don't need to know who I'll become, I only need the courage to keep becoming. Boom! Boom! Let them remember the version they knew. Let them keep the old picture. I am not that person anymore. The past can explain me. It cannot command me. Freedom is not doing whatever you want. Freedom is becoming someone who can question what you want. I escaped the cage, but carried the walls inside. Old rules, old fears, old definitions, old voices. Wearing my own voice, I called it freedom because nobody was holding the chain. But I never asked, who taught me to wear it? The free spirit doesn't need another master. Not tradition, not fashion, not applause, not rebellion for rebellion's sake. Because even rebellion can become another cage when you need something to fight. I don't reject the world just because the world rejects me. I examine, I choose, I abandon, I return, I rebuild. No borrowed truth, no borrowed hatred, no borrowed purpose, no borrowed identity. No master, no cage, I walk without borrowed chains. No master, no throne, I build my road as I go. But freedom is heavier than obedience. Obedience gives you instructions. Freedom gives you responsibility. Nobody tells you which road is right. Nobody guarantees the outcome. Nobody promises you won't fall, and that's the price. You wanted freedom, then choose and live with the weight of the choice. The free spirit can change its mind because truth is more important than consistency. It can abandon yesterday's belief without calling yesterday a waste. It can say, I was wrong, and keep walking. Changing your mind is not always weakness. Sometimes it is evidence that you are alive. So I don't need a permanent identity. I need an honest direction. I don't need everyone to understand me. I need to understand why I walk. I don't need a crowd to approve the road. I need the courage to travel it. No master, no cage, no borrowed chains around my name. No master, no throne. I walk without permission to become my own. Question. Become. A free spirit is not a person without rules. It is a person who knows why they chose their rules. He carried a map his entire life. Every road was already drawn. Every destination already named. Every direction approved. Then one day, he reached the edge. The map said, go north, so I went north. It said, turn here, I turned. It said, this is success, I followed. It said, this is failure, I avoided it. It said, these people matter, I believed it. It said, these people don't, I ignored them. I lived a perfectly mapped life. But now, there is no road, no line, no sign, no arrow, no destination. Turn back, why? Because there is nothing beyond here. How do you know? That question changed everything. Whoa! How does the map know what I can become if I never leave it? Maybe the map was never the world. Maybe it was only the record of where someone else had already walked, and I had mistaken their footsteps for destiny. A free spirit doesn't destroy every map. He simply knows a map is not reality. He can use it, question it, fold it, throw it away, draw another, or walk without one. You could get lost, yes. You could fail, yes. You could regret it, yes. But at least the direction will be mine. Freedom is not a door someone opens for you. It's the moment you stop asking who should decide where you go. No God, no pride, no tradition, no algorithm, no apply, no enemy to blame, just choice, and responsibility. I don't need a road that guarantees I'll arrive. I need a reason to keep moving. I don't need a map that promises I'm right. I need the courage to discover that I might be wrong. I don't need certainty, I need movement. Because a life without risk can become a life without discovery. If you leave me, you lose the old certainty, then I'll lose it. If you walk beyond me, you may never find your way back. Maybe I don't need to go back. The road doesn't exist until someone walks it. The answer doesn't exist until someone lives it. Value doesn't become real because everyone agrees. It becomes real when a life is willing to embody it. No master, no master, hey! No master, no master, no master. My direction. My direction. My direction. Question, choose, become. The edge of the map was never the edge of the world. The case: humanity versus life. I accuse life of suffering, of loss, of death, of uncertainty, of giving us desire without guaranteeing fulfillment. I accuse life of being unfair. Evidence? Every human life is evidence. We wanted happiness, life gave us change. We wanted permanence, life gave us time. We wanted justice, life gave us consequence. We wanted answers, life gave us questions. Defense, Dionysus. You accuse life because it refused to become your fantasy. You call suffering an error, you call death a contradiction, you call uncertainty a defect. But who promised you a world designed for your comfort? You wanted existence to explain itself. I say, experience it. The body knows what the mind denies. The heart breaks, the blood continues. The wound opens, the hand still reaches. The night arrives, the morning still comes. Life doesn't ask permission to remain life. You cannot extract every tragedy and still claim you kept the same existence. Remove the darkness, you change the meaning of the light. Remove mortality, you change the value of the moment. Remove risk, you change the meaning of courage. Final argument? Yes. Perhaps life was never guilty. Perhaps the crime was our demand. That existence must satisfy us before we agree to live it. No, I will not love life only when it is gentle. I will not praise existence only when it rewards me. I will not call the world beautiful only when it agrees with my desires. The verdict has changed. Not guilty! Life. Life. Not guilty! Life. Tragedy was never that life contains suffering. The tragedy would be to experience all of this and still say no. Say yes.
Before the world gave you a name, before they told you how to play the game, there was a voice you couldn't hear beneath the noise, small, quiet, still alive. Then came the rules, the expectations, the faces you tried to impress, the version of yourself you built just to be accepted. And slowly you disappeared inside it. Take off the mask, let the silence speak. Take off the mask, find what you buried deep. No borrowed voice, no borrowed face, no more hiding inside somebody else's shade. You learned to smile when you wanted to scream. Learn to say, I'm fine, when you wanted to leave. Learn to chase what looked impressive. Learn to feel what made you different. But difference was never the enemy sometimes. Difference was the beginning. Listen, that's yours. Not the voice of your father, not the voice of your teacher, not the voice of the crowd telling you what you should become. Strip it down, one layer, another, until there is nothing left to perform. Who are you when nobody is watching? Take off the mask, let the silence speak. Take off the mask, find what you buried deep. No borrowed voice, no borrowed face, no more hiding inside somebody else's shape. Maybe you were never lost, maybe you were covered under the noise, under the fear, under the names they gave you. And now, remove them. I don't need to become somebody else, I need to become less of everybody else. Less expectation, less imitation, less fear of disappointing the crowd, until only one question remains. What is my silence speak. Whoa. Take off the mask, find what you buried deep. Whoa. No borrowed voice, no borrowed face. No more hiding, no more hiding. Become who you are. Welcome to the factory. Here, values are manufactured. Good, bad, success, failure, normal, 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 normal. Thousands of people receive the same product. Wake up, clock in, work, consume, repeat. Buy the dream, wear the label, chase the number, call it success. Call the exhaustion ambition, call obedience discipline, call fear responsibility. Next, 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 next. I worked here for years. I never asked what the machine was producing. I only asked, am I doing it correctly? Then one day, I saw the wall. A giant inscription. This is what a good life looks like. I stared at it. Who decided? Who decided what success should look like? Who decided what kind of desire is respectable? Who decided what makes a person valuable? Who decided which suffering is noble and which is shameful? Who? The factory went silent. And without the machine, I could finally hear myself. Be normal, be successful, be acceptable, be safe, be useful, be admired. Don't fail, don't embarrass yourself. Don't question the system. Those voices were everywhere, and none of them were mine. So I opened the machine, not to destroy it, to understand it. Every value has a history, every ideal has a purpose. Every rule creates a certain type of person. So ask, what kind of human does this value produce? Does it create courage, curiosity, strength, creation, responsibility, or fear, obedience, resentment, smallness? I don't want to manufacture a new crowd. I don't want another uniform, another doctrine, another absolute. I want the ability to evaluate again and again and again and again. Build a value, test it, live it, break it, rebuild it. Don't worship it, don't turn your own creation into another idol. That's the trap. A creator must also be willing to question his own creation. So I rewrite the machine. Not one command, a process. Not one answer, a method. Not one eternal rule. A living evaluation. I choose courage over comfort when comfort makes me smaller. I choose creation over imitation when imitation kills my voice. I choose discipline when desire needs direction. I choose curiosity when certainty becomes a cage. I choose responsibility when blame becomes convenient. I choose life, not because life is always kind, but because I am willing to shape what I do with it. Question. Evaluate. Value. Create. Turn the machine. Make your own scale. Make your own life. The most dangerous machine is the one you never realize you are operating.
No warning. The old world is falling. What comes next? Next, 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 next. They gave you a heaven, they gave you a hell, gave you a rule and told you to obey it well. Grin above, evil below, follow the path, don't ask why, just go. But then the old certainty started breaking, the answer stopped answering, the ground started shaking. And suddenly, you were standing without a map. When the old gods fall, what will you build? When the old rules fade, what will you choose? No voice above you, no answer below. You stand in the silence. Now create. This isn't freedom without responsibility. This is the way of creating your morality. No more hiding behind the crowd, no more saying they told me so. You wanted freedom and carry the consequences. You wanted meaning, then build the foundation. Because when the old values collapse, you don't get to remain empty. You become responsible for what comes next. Create a reason to wake up. Create a reason to stand. Create a value strong enough to survive your own hand. Don't copy the old world. Don't worship the new. Ask what makes you stronger. Ask what makes you true. Create. What will you build? When the old rules fade, what will you choose? No voice above you, no answer below. You stand in the silence. Now create. The silence is frightening, but silence is also space. A blank page, an empty road, a chance to choose your direction. The end of certainty is not the end of meaning. It's the beginning. A responsibility. No borrowed heaven, no borrowed fear, no borrowed purpose to carry through the years. The old world can fall, let it fall, but don't stand in the ruins waiting for someone to save you. Build, 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 build. Create, create. Create.
begin. Now, begin. Now, begin. There is a mirror in the room. It has no opinion, no advice, no judgment. It only reflects. Am I strong? Am I free? Am I honest? Am I becoming the person I say I want to be? The mirror says nothing. So I bring my actions to the room here. Is the promise I made and broke here? Is the fear I called common sense here? Is the truth I avoided because it was inconvenient here? Is the opportunity I abandoned because failure looked embarrassing here? Is the person I could have become, and here is who I chose to remain? Do you still want to call yourself strong? I don't know. Do you still want to call yourself free? I don't know. Then stop describing yourself. Start examining your choices. Self-overcoming isn't a war against yourself. It's a refusal to remain unexamined. You find the habit, you question it, you find the fear, you face it, you find the weakness, you train it, you find the contradiction. You don't hide it, you work through it again, again, again. Not because you hate who you are, but because you refuse to believe you are finished. Stay here, it's comfortable. You know this place, everyone understands. You don't change, don't risk it. Don't become someone they don't recognize. That's the voice I know. And that's exactly why I have to question it. The hardest enemy doesn't carry a weapon, it carries an excuse. Tomorrow, later, someday, when I'm ready, when they understand, when the conditions are right. No, the transformation begins before the conditions become perfect. I stand in front of the mirror. I don't ask, do I look strong? I ask, did I live according to what I claim to value? Sometimes the answer is no. Then tomorrow, I try again. One choice and another, one discipline, then another one uncomfortable truth, then another non-dramatic victory. No audience, no applause, just repetition until the person I practice becoming starts becoming real. I don't need to defeat the world, I need to stop losing to the habits I refuse to examine. I don't need to prove I'm better than another man. I need to become more honest than I was yesterday. I don't need a perfect identity, I need a direction strong enough to survive my excuses. The mirror doesn't speak. Good. I'll do the talking with my life. Use. Acts overcome, become. The mirror never asked who you wanted to appear to be. It only showed what you were doing.
Imagine you wake up tomorrow and nothing has changed. Same room, same people, same mistakes, same victories, same pain, same joy, and then it happens again. Same window, same face looking back at you. Same choices waiting at the door. The conversation you hated again. The failure you regretted again. The moment you wish you could again. And there is no escape. Not once, not twice, forever. Every second returns, every decision, every silence, every laugh, every wound, every ordinary day you never thought was important. Now answer, if the universe offered you this exact life again, would you accept again? Would you choose this life again? Again. Every scar, every fall, every victory. Again. Would you say yes to all of it? Not the life you wish you had, not the person you imagine becoming, not the future you keep promising yourself. This one, this morning, this body, this history, this imperfect road, the life you're living right now. Because it's easy to love a future that hasn't disappointed you yet. It's harder to affirm the present with all its weight. Nietzsche's question is not simply about time. It's a test of affirmation. Can you say yes to existence without demanding that existence be different? If you could erase the humiliation, would you? If you could erase the heartbreak, would you? If you could erase the years you thought were wasted, would you? And if you erase all of them, do you still recognize the person you became? Maybe the point isn't to love every moment. Maybe it's to live so completely that you don't need to bargain with the past again. Let it come again. The mourning, the struggle, the laughter, the loss, the work, the uncertainty again. If this life must return, let me live it without wishing it belonged to someone else. Again. Again. And again. Yes. And again. Yes. Live today as if existence were asking, would you choose me again? At the end, there is no audience, no crowd, no reputation, no title, no achievement. Only you. I see the empty throne. Once, I wanted someone to tell me what life meant. Now, I don't. I see the hammer, the things I once believed without question. I tested them, some survived, some shattered, and I learned a belief is not sacred because it is old. I see the map, the roads everyone told me to follow. I followed some, I rejected others, and eventually I learned a road doesn't become mine because everyone walked it. I hear the machine success, failure normal, acceptable, important, useless. I spent years trying to become the product the machine expected, then I turned the machine off. I see the mirror, no excuses, no enemy, no crowd to blame, only my choices, and I finally understand. I was never supposed to discover a finished self. I was supposed to become. Then I see the fire, every failure I wanted to erase, every loss, every wound, every year I called wasted. I don't call them beautiful, I call them mine. I walked, I fell, I changed, I questioned, I rebuilt, I became someone I could never imagine at the beginning. And every time I thought I had arrived, another version of me was waiting to be overcome. No final form, no finished statue, no perfect answer, only becoming. Then the clock again, the same life, the same choices. I close my eyes. Yes. Play the morning. Play the mistake. Play the laughter. Play the fear. Play the love. Play the loss. Play the work. Play the silence. Play the uncertainty. Play the becoming. I don't ask for another life. I ask for this one again. I don't ask for another life. I ask for this one again. I was never given a meaning. I was given a life and inside it. Choice, risk, pain, possibility, creation. I was never promised a perfect road. I was given feet. I was never given the final identity. I was given the ability to change. I was never given an eternal answer. I was given the courage to question. So let the gods remain silent. Let the throne remain empty. Let the map end. Let the machine stop. Let the mirror show everything. I am still here. That is enough to begin. Question, create, overcome, become. Question, create, overcome, become. Become, yes. 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 Become who you are. There is a room with 1,000 windows. Every window shows the same world, and every window lies differently. Or perhaps none of them lie. I look through the first window. A man walks alone. He looks defeated, broken, lost. I look again. Perhaps he's simply tired. A third glance, perhaps he's thinking. A fourth, perhaps he's escaping something. I will never know. The image didn't change. My judgment did. Another window, two people arguing. One looks cruel, one looks innocent. Easy, simple, good, bad, villain, victim. Then I move to another side. And suddenly, the story has a history. The villain was once wounded. The victim once caused pain. The accusation has another accusation behind it. The story keeps opening. I walk deeper into the room. The windows become mirrors. Now I see my own face.
Why did you choose that window?
Because it confirmed me. Because it made my judgment feel clean. Because uncertainty is uncomfortable. Because a simple answer feels better than a complicated truth. Because I wanted the world to be understandable. And that's when the room became dangerous.
Truth, interpretation, fact, perspective, certainty, condition.
Look again. Look again. Look again. Look again. Maybe the strongest mind isn't the one that possesses the final answer. Maybe it's the one that can survive without reducing everything to one answer. Hold two interpretations, then three, let them collide. See what remains. Don't rush to erase contradiction. Sometimes contradiction is information. Sometimes disagreement reveals the blind spot you couldn't see from inside your own certainty. The enemy may not be wrong about everything. The friend may not be right about everything. And you are not outside the equation. You are one of the lenses. A perspective can become a prison when you forget it is a perspective. A belief can become a wall when you stop asking where it came from. A truth can become dangerous when it becomes untouchable. So I keep moving, window to window, angle to angle, not searching for a world without interpretation, but becoming capable of seeing more than one world inside the same world. I don't need 1,000 answers, I need 1,000 ways to look. I don't need certainty to protect me, I need vision strong enough to tolerate complexity. Let the world remain unfinished, let the meaning remain open, let the question stay alive. Look again. Look again. Look again. Look again. Look again. The mirror never told you who the world was. It only showed you how you were looking at it.
Change the angle. Change the angle.
You think time moves forward. Listen carefully. It's coming back. I had everything. A name, a history, a collection of victories I thought would protect me. Then, the clock moved backward. The victory disappeared. The applause disappeared. The achievement returned to silence. And I was left with the decision that created it. Back to the failure, back to the door, back to the night I wanted to forget, back to the words I shouldn't have spoken, back to the person I blame, back. The clock doesn't care what I regret. If I could erase the moment, would I? No. Because erasing the wound would erase the person who learned from it. But Nietzsche pushes further. What if you couldn't erase anything? What if the universe said, again? Oh! Again. Oh! Again the same room, again the same morning, again the same fear, again the same decision, again the same mistake, again the same laugh, again the same hand reaching for yours, again the goodbye, again the silence after the goodbye, again. Again. Would you call that punishment? Or would you call it a test of your love for existence? Maybe the strongest yes isn't spoken when life is beautiful.
Maybe it is spoken when you know exactly what it costs. I know the ending, I know the pain, I know the mistakes, I know what returns, and still I choose the whole thing. Not because I can change the past, because I refuse to hate the life that made me. Again. 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 Let it return. Let it return. If eternity knocked tonight, would you let it in?
Iron does not become a blade by remaining untouched. Neither does a human being. But you were born. You were born with a shape you didn't choose, a name, a language, a history, a collection of expectations. They said this is you, but the forge doesn't care what you were called. Into the fire, the comfortable shape begins to disappear. Old habits, old identities, old excuses. Heat reveals what cold comfort was hiding. You thought resistance was punishment. No, resistance is information. It shows you where you break and where you can be rebuilt. Strike again. Every failure leaves a mark. Every conflict changes the structure. Every rejection forces another question. Every limit asks, is this truly the boundary, or only the boundary you have accepted?
The hammer doesn't hate the metal. It gives the metal a possibility.
That's the will Nietzsche speaks of. Not merely, I want more, but I will give my existence a direction. I will shape, I will create, I will transform. I will not remain exactly as I was, because yesterday felt safer. But listen carefully. This is not a war against yourself. The forge doesn't destroy the metal to punish it. It transforms the material into another possibility.
Self-overcoming is not self-hatred.
It is self-creation.
So bring me the fear, bring me the weakness, bring me the habits I keep defending. Bring me the version of myself that says
This is enough.
put it in the fire, not to erase it. Put it in the fire, not to erase it. Put it
In the fire,
put it,
not to erase it.
to transform it.
To forge. Again. Shape, break, rebuild, create. Shape, break, rebuild, create. The fire didn't make you someone else. It revealed what you could become. Nietzsche asked, what happens when humanity no longer wants to become greater? What happens when comfort becomes the highest goal? No danger, no struggle, no hunger for something higher. A soft chair, a quiet room, a life measured by convenience. Everything controlled, everything safe, nothing worth risking. And they call it happiness. They don't build, they consume, they don't create, they compare, they don't ask what they could become, they ask, what do I get? This is the last man. Is the last man. He has discovered the perfect formula, work enough to survive, rest enough to remain comfortable, desire nothing that demands sacrifice, fear anything that might disturb the routine. He doesn't hate greatness, that's not the problem. He simply doesn't need it. No mountain, no risk, no fire, no transformation. Just enough, just safe, just comfortable. Just enough. But life doesn't stop because you stop climbing. Time keeps moving, bodies age, dreams shrink, potential disappears quietly, not with an explosion, but through repetition. One comfortable day, then another, until the person you could have become exists only as a possibility you never tested. Comfort can protect you, but comfort cannot tell you what you are capable of. Nietzsche wasn't asking for meaningless suffering. He wasn't worshiping pain. He was attacking the worship of smallness, the belief that a safe existence is automatically a valuable existence. The refusal to risk failure, the refusal to create, the refusal to become. Wake up! Don't sleep inside your comfort. Wake up! Your potential is not guaranteed. The easy road can become the smallest lie. You don't need to conquer the world. Conquer the excuse. You don't need to become famous, become capable. You don't need to destroy everyone around you. Destroy the version of yourself that stopped asking for more from life. The enemy isn't comfort. The enemy is worshiping it. No more smallness. No more sleep. Become. The last man doesn't die in one dramatic moment. He disappears, one compromise at a time.